You clicked on this video most likely because you're lost on an expedition to finally seeing your abs. And maybe your compass, or in this case your intuition, has brought you to this video. Now, if you've ever seen a fitness transformation via social media or maybe even movies, you'll see that it's way more juiced up than it sums up to be. And as a matter of fact, there would be no cultural significance in the movie Rocky if everyone just did what he did. And that, my friends, makes you an outlier just for clicking on this video. And I'm not kidding, I'm genuinely serious. And now I want you to buckle up because now we're gonna dive deep into your brain and figure out why the trajectory of your fitness goals is thrown off. Now, you could take what I'm about to say to you in two ways, either constructive or destructive. So think of this: if everyone had abs and everyone was in shape, everyone was Thor or Captain America, it would probably lose its significance, right? If you walked down the street one day and every specimen you saw was just a superhero who was built and jacked and ripped and very handsome, you would stop batting an eye to that significance of the superhero. They're everywhere. There's no significance in becoming a superhero because you see them all over the place. By no means am I ever going to tell you that this process is going to be easy. That's ridiculous. And if you think it's going to be easy, just go sit in the corner behind you. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But chances are you're making it more difficult than it actually has to be. And I want to bring you along this ride because I've done this so much in my whole life, not even just fitness. So that means if you truly clicked on this video and you truly want to learn, you are most likely struggling in these three areas: overcompensation, structure, and application. So I'm going to stop wasting your beautiful time you could be scrolling on TikTok with, and we're going to go right into overcompensation. Let's take The Rock, for example. If The Rock were to train every single day of his life, and then one day he just got sick and couldn't train, and then maybe he ate a little bit of junk food, do you think that's really going to stop him from looking a certain way? Now, granted, he's on a ton of super supplements, if I want to call them that. I don't know if YouTube allows me to say those words, so... But regardless of that, that doesn't mean the same doesn't apply to you. If you have one bad day where you just eat a ton of junk food, or maybe you just want to go out with friends and have a good time, go eat out at a nice restaurant, be social, and you know time and time again people have told you to not worry about that, and yet here you are watching this video. So that's exactly my point. It just needs to be drilled into your brain that one day is really not going to do much, and I'm going to show you exactly why on my laptop. Here we go. I want you to look at this example I'm going to draw out right now. Boom, square, 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 circle, square, square, square. Oh, that's a piece of pizza. Oh my lord. Okay, pizza. Square. Shit. Oh my god. But look at the amount of squares compared to the amount of circles. There is one circle, maybe one triangle. I don't even know why I drew that, but there is one circle. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 squares. It's a numbers game. So the squares are going to represent each day that you stayed on the exact plan that you wrote out for yourself. What cardio, how much steps, what diet you're going to follow, what training program you want to follow, and how many days have you done that in a row? Probably 8. And then there's one outlier that's going to be that one circle right there where maybe you went out with friends. That's a circle day, but we had 8 square days. So 8 is much greater than 1. And maybe the 1 was actually a very social circumstance, like going out with friends. So we had one circle that made us happy, right? It looks like a 10, but you know what I'm saying. But it's very ironic that this is the case, that this one circle is actually going to be pretty healthy for us, because where it actually goes downhill is from a lack of the mentality that you need. And being social really recharges your mentality, because a lot of where people go wrong is whenever they are lacking the mental health and mental support of people, and being around people and having a good meal with one day out of 8 that I wrote down. It actually is a lot healthier than people make it out to be. And in the grand scheme of things, over a year, it's going to be absolutely nothing. It's going to be a dust particle. It's going to be a fugazi or fugazi.
Yeah, fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust.
Okay, so this graph is kind of showing you what it's actually going to be like to succeed in this journey. We're going to have some highs, we're going to have some lows, we're going to have some really lows, and some days we're going to stay stagnant right here. But that's how it's supposed to be. It doesn't just go straight up in a line like this. I hate to break it to you. Don't be a fucking idiot. It's never going to be like this. I was once that an idiot, and I'm telling you right now, it's not working like this. But let's say that this heavy low was like a heavy binge eating session right here. So what happens when we hit this heavy low? What about this right here? Depending on where your mindset is, if you overcompensate, it can go all the way down. Maybe you get a little bit of motivation again, but all the way down. And that motivation comes from more action. But it keeps going down and down and down again, up into the point where you flatline and give up because you let one bad day dictate who you are as a person. And here we are once again. But what if I told you that this graph right here kind of resembles what this is actually supposed to look like? You're gonna have your highs, your lows, and your stagnation. What if I told you that's the best thing that you could be going through? Honestly, the lows are the parts that you need to see, because let's say we get to a low right here, and this low, we go in full panic mode, or you go in full panic mode. I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm here to teach you. So this means for you, extra cardio, fasting. You just start throwing out random shit and hoping it sticks. But in your brain, you're making it way worse than it actually is. It's not a problem. You are just making it a problem. It's actually really healthy to go through these periods. If we go back to this graph, it's healthy to see every single bit of the progress, the highs, the lows, because those are where we learn the most. And there are going to be times where you are on top of it and you just keep going and going, and it seems like there's nothing going wrong. And that's where it gets dangerous, because that's exactly wherever you start to get comfortable, and then the big plummet makes it even bigger in your mind because you make it more of a problem. So that's to say that whenever you have this upward slope, you have one little divot and then you make it seem that it's way more than it is, and then we start to flatline again. So what exactly this means is that you do not need to create a backup plan for when things go wrong, because your initial plan should compensate for that so you don't have to overcompensate. Do you see where I'm getting to now? I hope this is clicking for you guys. So if you go out and maybe you have a cheat meal, or maybe you're with friends and you go out to eat, and maybe you've had a really bad day and you just start emotionally binging on the pantry in your kitchen. I've done this plenty of times, and the number one thing that actually gets me back right on the track is physically performing the same way I was doing before I even did all of that. Before I started eating the junk food, the cookies, the tub of peanut butter, I performed the way I would normally. Regardless of anything that happened, I'm not gonna fast, I'm not gonna do extra cardio, I'm not gonna do some extreme Chinese practice that they did in the mountains that extracts all the calories that I ate the previous day. I don't know if that exists, but anything close to that would probably be meditation. So what if one bad day slips through the cracks? You're not in school anymore, you're not a baby, you're not a perfectionist anymore, you're not gonna worry if you get a B- on a test. The more you worry, the more cortisol spikes and stress that you have, engaging in more binge-worthy activities, and then you just start trying to throw everything at your problems, when actually you need to just step away and just get right back to plan A. There should be no plan B. This is it. So quickly, what structure should you even follow in the first place? Calorie deficit in a sustainable way that you can do for 10 years to your whole life. You don't even need to worry about what am I going to eat today, because you already know. Everything you have is already in your fridge. What I suggest you doing is going to a grocery store and finding what healthy foods you actually like, and what actually makes you feel good, and what tastes good, and what do you think that if you just took it right now, you probably wouldn't overeat on it, but it's still really good. Only you are going to truly know what foods you should stay away from, because they are that dangerously good, but healthy at the same time. If you have your calorie goal, the amount of calories you should be eating in order to lose body fat every day, but if it's not going to be sustainable because it's still healthy food, but you're going to overeat on it, overconsumption of any calories is still going to put on more weight. What if I just eat whole foods the whole time? So I honestly preach that message. Go ahead and spread it to everyone. Spread it to every single Facebook group you know. But overconsumption of any sort of calories is going to negate everything that you're doing. So when it comes to a training program, I shouldn't have to run this down. I've run it down on 100 videos, but I'm going to do it again just because you may be a new viewer and I would love to help you. Your training program, find something that you can sustain to, just like the diet, something that's fun and something that kind of prevents you from getting injured. Don't do some wild monkey stunts on like the rock wall or something like that. So if barbell squats mess with your knee, why even keep trying to do it? Because you're probably going to get injured, and then that's going to put you back to ground level zero. Find something that's not going to get you injured, that's really fun to execute, and maybe you could just need to get in and get out every day within a 45-minute period. And so be it, all right? I'm not going to tell you not to do that. I just want to promote you to get towards your goals. Therefore, doing something, just something, is 300% better than doing absolutely nothing at all. I know the type of viewer who's watching this video right now, and I'm telling you right now, the biggest antidepressant that you have access to you is legitimately free, and it's just physical exercise of any sort. Any sort of physical exercise. Approximately 48 million Americans today are depressed and are on some sort of antidepressant. However, roughly 1 in 4 Americans each day are roughly meeting the total daily exercise activity level For me personally, I just think it's so obvious to see why these people are depressed. There's a whole new world in front of us. There's weird shit like pesticides, screens, blue light, birth control, and tap water even. Not to mention, if you walk into the grocery store, you're never ever going to be greeted with the best foods for you in front of you. You're actually met with just the best foods in front of you. Notice how I said the best foods for you are generally out of your reach in this situation. You have to go manually looking for them through the grocery store. They're not like the cookies that sit right in front of you whenever you walk in. Quickly, I'm going to navigate you through a study that says if you are willing to show up to the grocery store with a list of foods you need to buy, you are less likely tempted to grab all the flashy foods that are right in front of you. Now, am I saying that you need to completely disregard any of them? No, and honestly, maybe you actually should. Because if you use willpower at the grocery store and whatever's in your household is actually really healthy and great options for you, you don't need to use that willpower whenever you're at your house every day. And that brings me to my last point of application. So you have the structure, you have the plan, and you just need to apply it to your everyday life. So not only using willpower to just make a grocery list and just get what you need and get out of the grocery store, you just need to be prepared for whatever life's gonna throw at you. Maybe your wife is screaming at you that you need to go to this baby shower and you're 10 minutes late already. Banana and like a protein shake and you're out the door. And technically what I'm trying to sum up here is if you just have options around your house that are grab and go options, easy to prepare, or even if you just have prepped meals that you are ready to take with you, that's awesome too. But a lot of the success you see in your fitness journey is just being ready for whatever's coming at you. It's really just that simple. Let's say you have a packed meal of just beef and potatoes and vegetables and maybe a fruit with you. And maybe you're at a graduation party that you didn't want to go to, but you have to go and just give them money for, I don't really know what reason. Why do we still give money at graduation parties? Who's to say they're not going to drop out anyways? Well, let's say you go to that graduation party, but you have a meal packed. Instead of the cookie tray or everything that's over there, you kind of just have everything you need already. And maybe you didn't want to pack a meal. Maybe you just had an easy to grab option. You had that banana and that protein shake just waiting there for you. But the one thing that you will struggle with is eating out of boredom, because graduation parties, man, are they boring. So keep in mind, are you actually hungry or are you bored? That, my friends, is going to wrap this video up. And if you made it this far, comment the word watermelon just to confuse everyone who didn't make it this far. And if you're interested in one-on-one fitness coaching with me, that'll be the first link in the description below. And I do not accept everyone. I'm really genuinely looking for people who want to make a change. So if that's you, let's get to work, brother. Other than that, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Take it easy.